excellent chapter start to finish, but the highlight was really the Hellboros going one-on-one mano-a-mano versus the Parasite Emperor. Toriko, Gourmet number 90, recovery time.
Oh boy, this is some fun shit. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and gourmet hunters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and appetite-inducing and behemoth-ridden tale of Toriko. Now, our last chapter saw us, of course, focusing almost mainly on Teppei and kind of what he was doing as far as putting Tommy out of commission. Tommy barfed out this Parasite Emperor, and the Hellboros wound up being unleashed as well from the Gourmet Showcase. And really the chapter left off with, of course, you know, the Hellboros appearing, and then us seeing Komatsu looking like he was bloodied and not doing very well. So that's where things left off. Things pick up right where we left off as far as, you know, up top there with the Hellboros and the Parasite Emperor. And first of all, what I thought was great is you got the two sacks of shit over here, Bogey and Barry, who cool character designs, but they did their job as villains because I don't like them. You know what I mean? Just don't like them. They're unlikable to me. But they are good villains. You know, they're good villains because they bring up that, like, they just bring up that seething hatred, you know, and that animosity in me. Not that, like, okay, they're stupid. They're genuine characters that I just dislike. So, anyway, wind up seeing from them because they were trying to get away, and of course the Hellboros is there. It looks as if, right as they're like, what the? And the Hellboros is just like, it looks like it just eats both of them, right? And just takes them out. And we don't see them for the rest of the chapter, so I'm assuming that's the way everything was drawn, and as I'm hoping they're done for, right? But anyway, what winds up happening is Teppei goes and then turns around, right? Because he sees the Hellboros, and he's like, we find out too that this thing's been laying dormant or frozen, whatever you want to say, frozen in time for 100 years, right? You know, and he's like, how does it feel to stretch your legs after 100 years, Hellboros? You know, kind of king of the continent. He turns and sees the Parasite Emperor, and this thing has already went and, like, molted and shed its skin and become bigger and stronger, right? And it's been out for, like, I don't know, 3 minutes maybe? So anyway, he's like, holy shit. This thing starts coming at him. He's dodging it, ducking, diving, all that other stuff to try to get out of the way. And what ultimately winds up happening within the first few pages is these two behemoths just clash, man. You know, it's like Godzilla versus, you know, Ghidra, the three-headed monster, or whatever type of huge, you know, just crazy-ass monster showdown you want to have. And it's great because as the Hellboros goes and comes at him, and he's climbing, and the Hellboros is cool looking, right? Because even though it's like it's this reptile, it looks like it has several of these, like, they almost look like Venus flytrap type heads. They just have these huge jaws on them. He's got like 10 of them or something. I don't know, a bunch, right? Anyway, as he goes and starts grasping on, and they start locking horns, so to speak, this thing winds up going and sprouts its wings or starts flapping its wings, and they go and fly the fuck up out of there and just go right through, just make a hole straight through the ceiling, and they leave out. And I'm like, what the hell, you know? And even Teppei says, he's like, man, you know, this that thing's got some balls, you know, that Parasite Emperor. So because it's, you know, he's gonna go and take on like the king of the continent here. And this thing is basically, it looks at this Hellboros looks at the Parasite Emperor as just like a tasty snack, you know. So anyway, they go and get out of there, so they're kind of out of harm's way. And then the rest of the chapter is a little bit on a calmer note where we get to see some things. We see Toriko. Prior to that, though, we see Match, and Match is like, you know what, man? He's like, hey, Reviver. And I like how he says this. He's like, hey, Reviver, you think you could let me get... I'm going to go after that sentry suit now. You think you could kind of turn a blind eye to it? And then he goes and he says, and after that, do you think that, you know, you could also, in addition to that, I want to bury his 3 mafia guys, his 3 comrades, obviously, that Barry destroyed, you know, and kind of make the Gourmet Showcase their headstone, you know. And Teppei goes and he says, no, they got a lot of life left in them. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah! Because even though I didn't really know those characters, seeing Barry go and dismantle them and destroy them like he did and make fun of him while he was doing it just really brought something out in me, brought some anger out in me towards Barry. And seeing the loyalty that they had, even in the face of certain death, trying to go and match the time that he needed to go and focus and charge his energy, to me was very noble and loyal. I mean, how many of you could really go and say, hey, listen, I trust you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and give my life up so you can go, and I trust that your ability will wind up, you know, saving the day or whatever. I won't be around to see it. I'll sacrifice myself for you, though, just to buy you a little bit of time, you know. And honestly, I don't think many of you can say that, because I know I couldn't say that. Anybody in the world that I know right now, I would rather try to handle something myself than, you know, and trust myself, as opposed to going and saying, all right, dude, I'll sacrifice my life to give you 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you need, and then, well, I'll just hope that from the afterlife I can see everything and that it works out, right? Anyway, I thought it was cool. But he winds up going over, and Toriko is he's kind of like laying there, and he's sort of like half like wrapped in the in that tree, that sort of like protection tree that you know, that Teppei wound up you know, having attached to the Gourmet Showcase to try to save it. Anyway, he winds up going to grab one of the leaves and extracts a little drop of something, and one of his nails, it goes and it comes out like a needle. It's actually called a needle nail, and it's actually pretty cool how it comes out. And he puts this stuff in there, and it looks like he hits it right into Toriko's heart. So reminded me of like when they go and they hit somebody with like was it like epinephrine or whatever it is when their heart stops and it winds up. It's basically like a speed stimulant or whatever that you wind up going and giving somebody, but you got to go like straight through their chest plate to their heart. Obviously, in Pulp Fiction is one of the movies that you saw that, but I've seen it happen in tons of different movies to get people going again, and then basically, like I said, what it is, just kind of shocks them back to life, you know, gets their heart moving. So he winds up giving him this thing and says that it's some kind of stimulant, again, cardio stimulant, but that his body can handle it because he stopped shivering now. And remember, it's 80 below zero, so even though it's black and white in here and you can't really tell, remember, it's fucking cold, right? So it's going to get his body temperature back up so he doesn't die, you know? Then he winds up going, and as Toriko's kind of half out of it and everything else, and he's like, hey, you're awake now. And Toriko's like, who are you? He doesn't even know who he is, right? And he goes and he has him swallow this fertility seed, which I guess is banned by gourmet law or whatever, you know. But he's like, just take it. It'll make you feel better. This seed, though, what it actually does is it's actually like, it's almost like when you get a shot for some sort of disease or whatever. What it is it's actually a small amount of that disease that's being injected into you, but it's a small enough amount that it allows your body to build an immunity towards it, and then your body becomes stronger and is able to fight it off, so then you cannot contract that disease, right? That's the whole idea behind, you know, those type of things that obviously you get, the shots and things like that. They're preemptive strikes, allowing your body to build up to those things. So same type of thing with this fertility seed. What it actually does is it actually kind of poisons and breaks down some of the cells, but it's breaking down some of the cells so they can come back stronger. So what it is it's going to wind up helping him become stronger in the end. But mind you, Toriko is still missing an arm and has been just completely just foobarred, you know, and is not looking good. Nonetheless, though, then he winds up going over and he sees the other guys, Match's guys, and they're like frozen solid, you know, just because they've been laying there now for God knows how long. Anyway, he winds up going and pulling out a bunch of these like ace bandages and basically wraps them all up like mummies and whatnot. And he says now a lot of their recovery is going to be up to them. Like, so I think a lot of it now is going to be like their will, their strength, their immune system, their ability to be able to try to fight back and try to pull out of this. But he's done these things, and we don't know what Teppei's deal is yet, right? Because then he goes and he winds up breaking off a piece of, looks like the Gourmet Showcase, and he gives it to Match and says, here, you can have this, and then he tells him that the Gourmet Showcase is dead, it's done, it's beyond him to even be able to bring it back and revive it, right? And so then even Match says, you know, why are you doing this? Why are you saving all these people? And he says, I've been a gourmet reviver for a very long time, and this and that, you know. But doesn't really give any motives yet into why he's doing this stuff. He just, maybe he's just a good guy. Maybe he senses or knows that these people are, you know, they're not like the bad ones, you know. I don't know. But it's very cool to see him help us. So anyway, everybody gets together, though, and then we go and we see, towards the end of the chapter, we wind up seeing Komatsu, and he's, of course, sitting there, and he's got, you know, snot and shit coming out of his nose, you know, the usual Komatsu stuff, because he can't get the Sentry Super, hasn't gotten it yet, or he fell down and skinned his knee, whatever his deal is, right? But he's there, and then all of a sudden, I thought it was kind of cool. Everybody appears, you know, after they call to him, like, guys, you know? And I thought that was cool, because he sees him. And then he's just like, sorry, we're late, Komatsu. You know, and it's Toriko, obviously, all messed up. Toriko got one arm. Dude is still carrying a guy, you know? The one thing I'd like to know, because then we got Teppei's carrying a guy, Match is carrying a guy. What the hell happened to Takimaru? Did we just forget about him? Did he take off? Is he just frozen and dead? I mean, what's the deal with that guy? I really like that guy. Nonetheless, though, that is how the chapter ends off. And this is actually, this is really starting to go and pull and draw me in over here. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Very, very cool stuff. So my chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is really, I guess, you know, I asked last chapter about which one would you rather face off on, you know, against the Hellboros, because you end up seeing them too, you know, kind of like fighting off in the distance, locked in this battle and what have you. But really, in that battle, who would you choose not to fight against? That was the last chapter's question. But who do you think will win in that type of battle? You know what I mean? And not just based purely on capture levels, because technically the Parasite Emperor is like a estimated capture level of 81, which means it could be 81, it could be 90, it could be 78. And the Hellboros is level 72, but he's been like the king of the freaking continent for, you know, a while now. So, who do you think would win in the ultimate battle between the Parasite Emperor and the Hellboros this Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time? Check local showtimes for listings. Anyways, leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Lost my train of thought over there. So, it's kind of a fucked up train, though, you know what I mean? It's not really on the rails all the time. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll look forward to catching all of you in the next one, nation.
Do you like the booty? I like to wrap it before I tap it. Hey, in all seriousness though, go subscribe to my other channels as well as follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram too.